And tonight I'm making Goza. Goza is the same thing as pot stickers. It's very similar to dumplings and wontongs, but it's cooked differently. Wonton and dumplings can be either fried or steamed, but the pot stickers are sauteed, steamed, and then sauteed again. It's the same filling, just a different cooking method. It's very popular in China where it originated, and it's also very popular in Japan. Now the reason they're called pot stickers is because they tend to stick to a pan that is not non-stick, but I'm going to be using a non-stick pan just for convenience. Let's take a look at the fillers. The major players here, of course, is pork. Pork is the most popular meat in China. Here in the US, it's beef, of course. You can use chicken if you'd like, or you can go vegetarian and use a combination of your favorite vegetables. I have some red cabbage here. You can use just about any type of cabbage you want. Garlic, ginger. These are the Goza or pot sticker wrappers, and they're nice and thin. I buy the thin ones. I've noticed that the ones that you get in restaurants around here are just too thick, too doughy. That's some sesame oil, rice wine vinegar, and soy sauce. Of course, I'll be using a little salt and pepper as well. Okay, folks, so watch the magic. Okay, folks, just a couple of things. I'm still doing my prep work. When it comes to the cabbage, you should cut out the core, the heavy piece in the middle. This way it cooks more consistently. The other thing I want to show you is the garlic. You should always cut the very top and bottom of the garlic off. Now this is when you use garlic, anytime you use garlic you should do that. And another thing I do is I cut it in half and I take out that little piece of core. I forget what you call that right now. I'm getting old. Okay, but this is bitter. And the tops and bottoms are very bitter as well. So take out that little green piece. Okay. Still prepping? Don't go nowhere. Okay, folks, everything is pretty much ready to go. I have my 12 ounces of ground pork. I'm going to add about a half a cup of red cabbage, finely diced. Everything is finely diced. You want everything to be pretty much the same size so it cooks evenly. I'm going to add about a third of a cup of green onion or scallion. I have some fresh ground ginger here. I put this through the food processor. It's a good tablespoon. Garlic. I'm going to put a good tablespoon in there. I love ginger, I love garlic. Going to add a dash of rice wine vinegar. Probably about a teaspoon. And a teaspoon of soy. You can use the low sodium if you like, but why would you want to do that? Okay, sesame oil. Just going to put a splash of sesame oil in here. This fairly spicy tablespoon or so. It's fairly spicy stuff. You don't want to kill yourself with that. Salt, about a half a teaspoon. Black pepper, about a half teaspoon. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix this up. I am not going to be using my hands. And the reason for that is I don't want to break down the fat in the pork. And then the heat from my hands will break down the fat, and then it just becomes too mushy. Okay, I'm going to stir this for a while until everything is incorporated. And then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator covered with plastic for about an hour or so. And what that does is it firms it up so it's easier to handle. And it also marries all the spices together. So I think I'll walk the dog, come back and start making the gozas. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to be making my dipping sauce. And this is very important. You can't eat a dumpling or a wonton or a goza without some type of dipping sauce. And this is very simple stuff here. It's mainly soy sauce. I put some ground ginger in there, left over from the goza. I have a couple of red chili peppers in here that have been reconstituted. I put in a little lemon juice, and then I added a little fish sauce. Now, if you're not familiar with fish sauce, I'll tell you, this is the most disgusting and vile fluid in the world. It's made from rotted fish. The smell is just terrible, but it goes really good in Asian cuisine. If you haven't tried it, try it. You can get that, well, at least I know I can get it here in New York City. New York City being such a great city, we can get anything we want, and sometimes stuff we don't want. One of the things I'm not going to put in the sauce is sugar. A lot of recipes call for sugar, but I'm not into adding additional sugar to anything. Okay, I'm going to start making the goza. Okay, folks. Dog has been walked. My dipping sauce is melding. My filling has been in the fridge for a good hour or so. Now it's time to actually get into the manufacturing process. There's actually quite a lot of fill here. This will probably make like about at least 40, maybe even 50 of these. But I'm not going to make all that. I'm running low on energy. Okay, I have a nice little scooping device here. It's probably less than a tablespoon. Put that right in the middle. Take a little water, go around the outer edge. This will just make it act as a little glue. This is the tricky part, is making it crimp together. I just fold it basically something like that. If you've ever seen Asian chefs do this, they can do this like lightning speed. However, I'm not that into Asian food. Try another one here. This one's got a little bit more meat on it. A little bit more fill, I should say. I'll fold it in half. There's a couple of different methods, and you can get very artistic if you like to. I think I put a little too much fill on this one. Okay, it's not bad. I can make this work. Okay, not so much on this one. These are really great if you're having a party, having a couple over, a guest over, whatever. The other reason why I like to make my own is the fact that I don't know where these dumplings and stuff are coming from. Are they coming from China? I don't know. And I think in a lot of cases the meat and the fill are questionable. So I'd rather just make my own. Beautiful, look at that. I wouldn't last as a Chinese cook for about no more than 2 hours, I think, before they kick me out. You know go cook. Alright. Something like that. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with my folding technique. I'm going to make a few more and then I'll show you how to cook them. That's the fun part. Well, actually the fun part is eating them. Okay, got a nice hot pan, not too hot, sort of medium hottish. A little vegetable oil. I'm going to cook these standing up, so I sort of like gave them a little curvature so they would sit up in the pan. I want to get the bottoms of these nice and brown. Some nice color to them. So that'll probably take about 3-4 minutes. Okay folks, this is what we're going for. Nice little browned edges, bottoms I should say. Okay. At this point I'm going to go ahead and steam them. I'm basically just going to add a little water to this saute pan here. You got to be real careful with this because there is some residual oil in there. You can hear it popping away. So I'm going to protect myself with the lid and pour it in. Not too much. That was about a tablespoonful. Those things are cooking away. You're going to have some good Goza here, folks. Welcome to Chef Kevin's Chinese Kitchen. 0 stars. Okay, I can tell that the water has evaporated because the noise has reduced. So I'm going to take the lid off. Very hot. I'm going to add a tad bit of sesame oil. And this is the second time that they will saute. Who ordered dumpling? You want dumpling? Okay, perhaps that was not funny. But anyway, here we go. Nice and crispy. Put this on a bed of cilantro. And I'm really hungry. My food always tastes best when I'm hungry. Gonna go ahead and try one of these. I hate to pat myself on my back because it may break my arm, but these are so fresh, so tasty. You're not going to get this at a regular Chinese restaurant. A lot of them use commercially produced dumplings or Goza or whatever. They come in frozen, and it's just not quite the same thing. I could probably eat this every day. The sauce is phenomenal, has a nice little heat to it, nice and salty with the soy sauce, and the little bit of lemon juice I put in there really brightened the whole thing up. So, thank you for watching. I have to take care of these Gozas.